If you're tired of trying to figure out what to have for breakfast, you're done with the boring cereals, you don't know what's healthy anymore because of what everybody says is healthy and what everybody says isn't healthy, you're going to love the recipes today. 5 different overnight oat recipes that the entire family is going to love. You can meal prep them in minutes and have breakfast done all week long. And they taste like dessert. So you want old-fashioned oats rather than instant oats because the instant oats have already been processed and your body doesn't have to, which causes your insulin levels to rise. You want the old-fashioned oats so that your body has to do some work, and that makes it so that your insulin levels don't rise as high. So 1/4 cup, we're going to add that to whatever container you want to use, and then here's our little bit of protein. Now, you can absolutely omit this if you don't want it, but I encourage you to give it a try. I know that it is processed, but it is a soy product. It is TVP, textured vegetable protein. And you can get it in most stores now. I get it at Country Life Market, I believe it's called. It's online. It's great. You can buy it in bulk, and it's very reasonable. It's a good source of protein, and this one's organic. I highly encourage you to buy organic soy products. So we are adding a 1/4 cup of TVP. Now, typically when you see TVP in recipes, they tell you to rehydrate it and then add it to the recipe. But since this is going to soak overnight, we've already got it in there, and it will soak up the milk that we're going to add to it. Now, in order to bulk this up and give us even more fiber, we're going to add some organic riced cauliflower. So again, about a 1/4 cup. I like to eyeball that one. And if it comes out in chunks like that, just break it up. My hands are clean. And you'll see little bits of green. That's awesome because that's even more fiber. So to this, we are going to start to add our seasonings. Now this overnight oats is going to be strawberry poppy seed. To this, we are going to add our poppy seeds. We're going to do about a teaspoon. Now you don't need to worry about writing any of this down. I'm going to put the recipes in the link in the description below, so you don't have to worry about this. We're going to add a little dash of vanilla, and we are going to add a little dash of cinnamon because that also helps with our insulin levels. And you want to try to get the best cinnamon you can buy to get the benefits from that cinnamon. So we are going to also bump this up with a little bit more protein by using a protein powder. Now, you don't have to if you don't want to. You can keep this entirely free from powders. But I'm going to add a little vanilla protein powder, and I'm going to add chia seeds. Those give you an enormous amount of calcium as well as fiber and omegas. And then we're going to do a tablespoon of hemp hearts. This gives you an enormous amount of protein for the size of these hemp hearts, and they are fantastic for omegas. And you can see we're getting a little bit full, but we got to have strawberries because it's a strawberry poppy seed salad, or it's not a salad, strawberry poppy seed overnight oats. So I'm just going to slice up a few strawberries. You could use frozen here if you want. All right. And I'm going to add a splash of orange juice to give it that bright flavor, just a tablespoon. And then and the sweetness from that orange juice as well. And then we're going to add our plant milk. Now, normally I do soy milk because it's higher in protein. I just don't have any right now, so I'm using my husband's unsweetened almond milk. He likes sweetened almond vanilla. Now, because we have TVP in this overnight oats, it is going to soak up and rehydrate. So you're not going to have your normal amount if you're used to overnight oats. You're not going to have that normal amount of liquid. If you want, if you in the morning, when you're getting ready to eat it, you can always add more liquid. You could heat these oats, add a little bit of liquid with it then. I like to give it a good stir, make sure that everything is getting incorporated. Those chia seeds are going to soak up the liquid as well. So you're going to end up with a really thick oatmeal. Now, I love thick oatmeal. If you don't, keep on adding some more liquid, or in the morning when you get ready to eat it, add liquid. I'm probably going to go ahead and top this with just a little bit more. And we have our strawberry poppy seed overnight oats. On to the next one. Next, we're going to do chocolate covered strawberry overnight oats. So with this one, I'm going to go ahead and mix the cocoa first, because sometimes that cocoa doesn't want to blend well with all of the nice natural oils in it. So we're going to add a tablespoon of really good cocoa powder or cacao, the best that you can afford for the good polyphenols. And then to that, we're going to go ahead and add just a little bit of milk for right now, just enough to get it mixed. And you can see how it's already separating. There we go. To this, we're going to add our oats, 1/4 cup. Just like before. And then a 1/4 cup of TVP, or another 1/4 cup of oats, and a 1/4 cup of frozen cauliflower, just to bulk it up. Add that fiber. Now to this, we're going to add a little splash of vanilla. Splashed it all the way down the side. That's okay. And we're going to add a pinch of cinnamon. Just a little. We don't want to overpower the cocoa. We just want to add a little hint to that cocoa. And we're going to add a pinch of mineral sea salt to bring out and enhance the cocoa as well. Before I add the strawberries, I'm going to go ahead and stir this again, just to make sure we get everything coated. Now, you could add chocolate protein powder here if you wanted to do some protein powder. I'm going to add my homemade protein powder mix. And again, if you want that recipe for this homemade protein powder that's clean and amazing, you can get that in the description below. And then we are going to stir that one more time. You can see how absolutely thick that is because of that TVP. It has soaked up everything. And that's what we want, so that they rehydrate. Now, the texture of that TVP, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but the texture of that TVP is going to be just a little chewy, kind of like the oats. I would venture to say you're not even going to know that it isn't oats, that you aren't already eating oats. All right. It's kind of like that cauliflower rice. It's just a little bit of a chewy texture. You don't have any clue that you're eating TVP or cauliflower. You just think it's all oats. So if you've got kiddos, this is a great way to get some protein and some fiber into them, because they're going to think it's oats. We're going to add our strawberries to this. And again, you could use frozen strawberries if you wanted. We have our chocolate covered strawberry overnight oats. Now you do want to wipe the edges. You don't want to not have a good seal on these when you put them in the fridge. So make sure that you have a clean edge so that you can put your seal on it. So we are going to make chocolate peanut butter overnight oats, or Reese's peanut butter cup overnight oats, whatever you want to call it to make it sound tasty. I promise it is tasty. So you can use PB2, you could use regular peanut butter. Just remember, your peanut butter should be runny. And if you look at the ingredients list and it doesn't just say peanuts or peanuts and salt, then your peanut butter has too much stuff in it. And I recommend that you get a natural peanut butter, and even better, an organic peanut butter. So you could also use sunflower seed butter if you have a nut allergy or issue. So with this PB2, we're going to add our cocoa or cacao, whichever you prefer. And again, try to buy the one that is the best that you can afford. I know prices are crazy high, so do your best. To this, we're going to add just a little bit of plant milk. We're going to stir it so that we can get that cocoa incorporated. I don't want it to sit on top of the plant milk. Now, to this, we're going to add our base, which is a 1/4 cup of old-fashioned oats, because it's lower on the glycemic index to use those old-fashioned. And we're using a 1/4 cup of TVP, textured vegetable protein. And again, if you don't want a soy product, remember these are organic. I highly recommend organic, but if you don't want a soy product, just double up the oats. So 1/2 cup of oats instead. And we're adding our 1/4 cup of riced cauliflower to bulk it up. Woo, we're running out of room. And give us lots of good fiber. Now I'm going to go ahead and stir that so that that TVP can absorb some of that goodness. All right. Now we've got that. We're going to add to this our protein powder if you want. Now, you don't have to. Again, this is my homemade protein powder. It's seeds mainly, and the recipe's in the description below. I think you'll really enjoy it, and it's super handy to have on hand, and it's less expensive than most of the store-bought ones. Now to this, we're going to add a splash of vanilla and a little dash of cinnamon, and we're going to add a pinch of that mineral salt. Now, you could stay here with this, or you could sprinkle some peanuts, some almonds, whatever kind of nut you prefer. You could add fruit if you would like, some dehydrated bananas that I dehydrated. So I don't know what that's going to be like. I am assuming they're going to rehydrate and be a nice little bite in the overnight oats, but we'll find out. I'll find out tomorrow. So you could do banana chips, and then we are going to top that off with the rest of our plant milk. It's typically 3/4 cup of plant milk, but I always eyeball it because you never know how that TVP is going to soak up all that goodness. Now I just want to make sure that we get milk all the way down to the bottom, that we don't have any pockets that don't get mixed. Now, if you want these sweeter, I always suggest sweetening them when you serve them. So a little drizzle of date syrup or maple syrup, something like that, if you need them sweeter, or fresh fruit will absolutely make them sweeter and delicious. And there you go. You've got chocolate peanut butter overnight oats. So now we're going to make tropical overnight oats or pina colada overnight oats, whatever you want to call it. Same as before, we're going to use old-fashioned oats because of the lower glycemic level. So 1/4 cup, and then to that, to boost the protein, a 1/4 cup of our textured vegetable protein. If you missed the benefits of this textured vegetable protein, I mentioned it before in my strawberry poppy seed overnight oats. You can omit this if you don't want to use textured vegetable protein or a soy product and just double up on the oats. So 1/2 cup of oats or 1/4 cup of oats, 1/4 cup of textured vegetable protein or TVP. To that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of my homemade protein powder. Now, it's a blend of seeds that I like to use, and I will put a link to that in the description below if you would like to make your own homemade protein powder that's nice and clean. To that, we're going to add our pineapple. Use fresh, you can use frozen, you could use canned if you want. I'm using frozen today. I'm going to leave it in big chunks, and we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of that as well. Now to this, we are adding a little vanilla, just a splash. And then we're going to add our plant milk. Oops, I almost forgot. I want to add the cauliflower because you cannot taste it, and it bulks up your oats, keeps you satisfied longer because it's full of great fiber. I promise you can't taste it. So you might as well add it. Just about a 1/4 cup, and I'm adding it frozen. And now we're going to add our almond milk or soy milk, whatever plant milk you prefer. I do normally prefer soy because of the higher protein content. I just don't have it right now. And I'm going to give that a nice little stir. Maybe. Those chunks of pineapple are big. But when you get ready to serve it, I encourage you to serve it with some delicious coconut chips. You could put them in right now. They're going to get a little bit soft, and that's okay too. But if you want them crunchy, go ahead and add them when you get ready to serve them. And that is our overnight oats, tropical style. And we're going to make just a standard overnight oats recipe that you can add whatever you prefer to it. So I'm going to go with 1/2 cup of overnight oats. Again, if you wanted to boost the protein, cut this in half and just do a 1/4 cup and then a 1/4 cup of TVP. But this is just our basic recipe. So 1 cup of overnight oats, 1/4 cup of our cauliflower rice to add that bulk, to add that good fiber. You won't know what's in there. It just tastes chewy. And to this, we're adding our chia seeds. So a tablespoon of chia seeds to thicken this up. Tablespoon of hemp seeds to boost the protein. Splash of vanilla. A dash of cinnamon. And milk. And the nice thing about this one is depending on your mood that day, you can add whatever fruit, whatever topping you're in the mood for. Give it that good stir. So you can top it off. And that's your basic overnight oats recipe that you can incorporate whatever you prefer. Some other items that are nice to add to overnight oats are a little bit of dried orange peel or fresh orange peel, fresh lemon zest. Not too much, don't go too far because it will end up making it bitter. Dates are delicious to add to overnight oats. Just make sure they aren't super hard like these. You want to rehydrate them if they are. And obviously your protein powders are nice additions, vanilla or chocolate. And here's a tip. I just always buy vanilla and then I add cocoa to that protein powder if I want a chocolate smoothie or shake or oats or whatever I'm using the protein powder in. That way you don't have to buy 2 different protein powders. Just stick with the vanilla, add in your really good quality cocoa or cacao, and you've got a really delicious protein powder. If you like the recipes today, please like and subscribe to the channel. I share new recipes every week with ingredients that God made. And if you'd like, you can grab my free Genesis 1:29 guide in the link in the descriptions below and find out exactly what He wants us to eat.